You've got to shoot this bit, Margaret. You've got to shoot it.
Well, they've got nice restaurants.
Deserve a blooming medal, wouldn't she?
So what are we talking about this week, Dom?
60 mountain restaurants. It should sort of pull your eyebrows up, but it shouldn't pull your head off.
I think the only dicey thing about this is skiing in a dern.
If possible, it's best if you go to a retail. If possible, it's best if you go to a retail store. Make sure Sorry, if possible, it's better to go to a retail. If possible, it's better to go to a shop. So, welcome to the 14th edition of this season's The Whiteout Podcast. I'm Dom, I'm publisher at In the Snow, and we are well and truly into the heart of the snow sports season now. The snow is certainly in great shape as we head into the Alpine Skiing World Cup Blue Ribbon Downhill Weekend. Kitzbuhel, of course, as always. I'm here with my trusty co-host, Rob Stewart, a man that if he was the right age in the 1980s, could have been appearing in the milk tray advert. Rob, how are you?
And all because the lady loves milk tray.
Yeah, thanks, Dom. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Yeah, contrary to what you might think, I don't need rescuing from a snowbound turret. Thanks very much.
No, I meant the milk tray man, Rob, not the lady.
Fair enough. I'm more of a limp man myself, Dom, I think. In fact, on my last trip to Switzerland, actually, before Christmas, I was 4 or 5 kgs, 4 or 5 kilograms over in my baggage limit coming back, all due to excess chocolate. Fortunate, yeah, I had a lot. Fortunately, I was flying with Swiss, and they understood. I just showed them the chocolate, and they were like, "It's okay." Yeah.
Well, I'm sure the ladies in your life were very happy with you when you arrived, Rob, full of Lindt chocolate.
Well, yes, absolutely. Although, fortunately, they didn't need rescuing, of course, because it's 2024, isn't it? Saying that, I would have liked to have been in those ads. Actually, that would have been fun.
Just imagine. You can just imagine you in the milk tray ad. Might see you skiing down in your polo neck this week. So,
oh yes, that kind of woolly, really deep neck polo that they used to ski in.
Rolled down. You'd look amazing. Yeah. So, Rob, what have we got in store this week? What's in this week's podcast? You're right out in the Alps as we speak.
Well, yes, we have got our usual ski news, and in the gear section, we're specifically looking at helmets this week, and then our snow and weather roundup, of course, our resort focus, and our epic bucket list destination. But yeah, I'm actually in Leger at the moment after staying in Châtel and then skiing across the Port de Soleil area on a sort of dual destination trip. My luggage was taken across for me.
I was going to say, did you have your wheelie case behind you?
No, it's a really cool way to see two places and ski between them.
Yeah.
And right now I'm in a new British-owned chalet hotel called Blythe, or Chalet Hotel Blythe, right in the centre of Leger.
Oh, right.
It's very cool. And it even has its own underground car park accessed by a car lift. It's very James Bond.
Shut up. Are you serious?
Yeah, it's very cool.
So you are. This is where the milk tray man must have stayed, surely.
Yes, exactly. But actually, anyone could stay here. Just check out summitspecial.co.uk. But later, I'm heading to the Montreux Comedy Festival and the mountain version, anyway, here in Leger for a whole evening of British comedy. I've got likes of Maisie Adams headlining tonight.
Nice. Have to get a few sound bites from them, Rob, for the podcast. Maybe help some of your jokes.
Yes, help some of my jokes. Yeah, we don't need them, Dom. Come on. No, actually, that is a good idea. It would certainly help my jokes a lot, I think.
Oh dear.
Anyway, on to this week's news. What is happening out there, Dom?
Well, just before we get headlong into that, Rob, time to mention today's sponsors, Ski Independence and Canada's Alberta. The team at Ski Independence have been sending customers to Alberta ski resorts for almost 30 years. With oodles of personal experience, they know all about the best places to stay, the best travel options, and everything in between. From Banff's best après-ski locations to breathtaking scenery at Lake Louise, or how to get the best out of a multi-centre itinerary. They highly recommend road tripping up the spectacular Icefields Parkway between Lake Louise and Jasper for an experience like no other. And I can second that. Visit ski-i.com/Alberta to find out more about booking Canada's Alberta with tailor-made specialists, Ski Independence. You got to love them.
absolutely.
We all love
You
skiing.
gotta love that drive, right?
Yeah, that drive is incredible. There's no two ways about it. As they say, an experience like no other, and I would go along with that for sure. So, thanks to Ski Independence, another week. We live to see another week, Rob. On to the news.
Yes, on to the news. So, what's happening out there?
Well, the Dolomites Dirndl Day ski day, Rob. It's for us, isn't it? Dirndls only. So not for us, but the Italian resort of Val Gardena is celebrating Women's Day on the 8th of March by hosting a women's only race where participants have to wear a traditional South Tyrolean dirndl. All ages are welcome for 18 to 99. Imagine a 99-year-old skiing in a dirndl. She'd deserve a blooming medal, wouldn't she? Jeez.
Got to win that just by being out there in a dirndl.
Imagine. That would be so cool. So competitors meet at their Beta Salon, I think I've said that right, where they start off with an aperitif with DJ Simon.
Lucky them, or maybe lucky Simon, actually.
Yeah, exactly.
At that point.
And then at the finishing line at the end of the race course, there'll be a dice game to play, and the event will conclude with a prize-giving ceremony at 2:30 p.m.
Dice game. Okay. Yeah, I think the only dicey thing about this is skiing in a dirndl, to be honest. It does sound great, but I would just say I'd like to see a men's version where skiing in a lederhosen is also compulsory. So yeah, congrats to Val Gardena, but let's see this men's race, please, and invite me as well. I've always wanted to ski in a dirndl. Sure.
You mean a lederhosen, Rob? Lederhosen.
Oh yeah, sorry. I do. I get them confused. It's got me into a lot of trouble that in the past.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Well, that's late at night actually. Well,
that's your milk tray gig blown out the window now.
True. Yeah, I don't care about that. Yeah, Lynn will take me on. That's what I'm aiming for.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Anyway,
after buying 5 kilos of chocolate off them, I'm sure they will.
Yes. Popular person. Next story, Dom. What's next?
Yeah, so I saw some of the ski racing from Wengen last weekend, and of course we have Kitzbuhel coming up now. A 12th place for Dave riding and 18th for Billy Major in the slalom. Solid results. What do you reckon, Rob?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're probably a bit disappointed by their second runs, but still, it's really good. It's really consistent, and who knows what might happen this weekend? You know, in Kitzbuhel, it's actually Dave's second best result in Wengen.
Yeah.
So it's very positive. We all know what he's done in Kitzbuhel. So yeah, it was also great to see those two downhill races and the Super G. Amazing conditions in Wengen. There were a few crashes, unfortunately. It's a tough place to race, and we do wish Alex Kilda and Lexi Pinterol well, following some injuries they sustained. But overall, it was an amazing weekend of ski racing.
Yeah, absolutely. What else have we got?
Well, next news story. Nick Fellows has been appointed director of FIS TV. And, the ski race commentary legend Nick Fellows, if you've watched ski racing on Eurosport for the past 30 years or so, it'd be a very familiar voice. It's slightly shockingly, anyway, for me, I didn't know about it, has left Eurosport and has been appointed director of the new FIS TV or FIS TV, being FIS being the International Ski Federation, of course.
Yeah.
And this is a new live streaming channel. And we caught up with Nick and he said this to us.
Rob, hi. It's Nick Fellows here in Kitzbuhel, Austria, ready for the big races on Friday, Saturday and Sunday. Obviously, Dave riding in action on Sunday, very exciting. Many thanks for getting in touch, and let me tell you a little bit about the new project that I'm working on. First and foremost, as a former ski racer and a broadcaster for over 30 years, to join the FIS is a real honour. It's an absolute pleasure to work with some highly skilled people across all of the departments and really get to understand ski sport from the inside as well as the outside. FIS TV, I've just been made the director of FIS TV, is all about giving access to ski racing where people have been unable to watch it. It's where Eurosport has done so well and where I've enjoyed over 30 years. But can you believe it? Canadian skiers win World Championship gold medals in Courchevel, and it's not live on Canadian ski. Michaela Schifrin wins her 94th victory here earlier this week, and you cannot see it live on American TV. So we are developing a plan where the FIS on a digital OTT platform will create access across the globe free of charge and provide every ski race, all of the training runs, backstage, and of course the big days themselves on a platform that will provide the best of the best commentary service, but also give ski racing fans snowboard fans, Nordic skiing fans, the opportunity to go backstage, meet the legends, have the legends in the commentary box, see the track, watch the training runs, go to the team captains meeting, and up close and personal interviews with the superstars, from ski jumping to park and pipe, from freestyle aerials to, of course, my speciality, alpine skiing. So it's a fabulous challenge. It's a brilliant opportunity, all set up by the FIS president, Johan Eliash. Johan himself is very forward-thinking, a brilliant businessman, and knows that the digital revolution over the past decade will give us the opportunity to make sure that people across Eastern Europe, Bulgaria has a slalom skier in the top 10 in the world, and you can't watch him on the telly. If you cannot find it on the BBC, Ski Sunday only doing 6 shows, you come to FIS TV, and you can not only watch all of the ski racing, but you can also learn more about the ski racers, learn more about the industry, and get a full service, because that's who we are. We're the International Ski and Snowboard Federation, and we want to service our fans. Sadly, for many people, and the list is over the thousands, I will not be commentating on Eurosport anymore. It's a full-time position. I'm exclusively working for the FIS, but keeping a close eye on Ed Drake and the other brilliant commentators there, because I'll be building my own commentary team over the next couple of years, with FIS TV set to be launched after the 2026 Olympics. Stay in touch. Take care. Have a good weekend.
So I guess we need to look out for the channel on fis-ski.com to see exactly what we can be expecting. Ski racing, obviously, but with the Discovery and Eurosport sort of merging, I guess they will be in competition with each other?
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, Eurosport does cover a lot of live ski racing. I must say, I get a bit confused about the TV and the app and how that all works. I mean, last week for the Wengen Slalom, Eurosport TV, in my case anyway, they just didn't show the first run. It was a bit annoying. It was scheduled on TV. It just didn't bother to switch it from the tennis. Very frustrating. I could watch it on my phone, on the app, but not on my TV. It must be frustrating for the commentators. You know, new voices, of course, now joining Ed Drake, who is excellent. But it is annoying when you can't watch the scheduled show. So maybe Eurosport needs to watch out for this new channel. You never know. But no, absolutely. I mean, great coverage normally on Eurosport, and some of these little things sometimes are annoying, but generally,
absolutely. Well, good luck to our guys for this weekend. It's an exciting weekend ahead. We'll all be watching that, and hopefully we've got some decent news for next week then.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm looking forward to this weekend and seeing what's happening in the races in Kitzbuhel. But what else is happening out there, Dom?
So Southern Hemisphere news, because it's that time to start planning the 25 season, Rob.
Love to go back to NZ for a ski. It's been a while, Dom.
Right, so then head to Cadrona, which was already the largest skiing area in the South Island, but it became significantly larger again for the 2025 season, which generally runs from June to September. A brand new 6-seater chairlift opens up to 150 hectares of terrain in Soho Basin. Yep, not New Zealand's version of a red light district, just but a huge bowl that will offer both groomed and freeride terrain and will make Cadrona the country's largest skiing area. So that's pretty epic.
Yeah, it does sound like a good reason to go back, Dom. I spent a bit of time there, long way back now, but there's some good terrain, and it's this new addition. I think it will make it one of the Southern Hemisphere's top ski destinations. I mean, I guess it already is, but this is kind of icing on the cake for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we need to put a date in the diary for that one, Rob, because I've never been to New Zealand, and I've never been skiing in New Zealand, so it's a double whammy.
We've got a bit of time to plan that. Next year, 2025.
It will be a double whammy for me if I get out to New Zealand and get to ski there.
Well, there you go. Why not go to ski in New Zealand in the winter? It's cheaper to fly there. You can still explore the country. Okay, it is beautiful in the summer, and it can rain a bit in the winter. But if you want to ski and explore the country at the same time, which is what I would recommend doing. I mean, don't just go there just for a ski trip to Cadrona, but do Cadrona for a few days and then go elsewhere.
Yeah, absolutely.
To go really, or even late season. If you go, September time, starting to be spring in New Zealand. It's warmer in the north, so yeah, beautiful.
So what else we got?
Well, just a really quick one for me. I recently heard that Andorra is not bound by the EU 90-day within 180-day rule. Oh. So let's do a season. What do you think?
Why not?
Get the kids through school, right? Yeah. The whole Brexit beep beep. I'm going to say that hasn't been sorted by then. Andorra would be a great place to do a season.
Yeah, nice too right.
Yeah, not too costly, relatively. Great skiing, nice vibe, lots of sun. Seems like we're welcome to stay as long as we like.
Sounds like a bit of just the small point of getting the kids through school, and then if I'm still fit enough and my knees are still holding up for a ski season, I'm in.
Well, they've got nice restaurants, good wine.
Yeah, exactly.
Not that we would do that now. A shout out today to our friends at the Snow Centre Hemel Hempstead, London's closest indoor real snow slope and the largest trainer slope in the country, with a team of highly qualified ski and snowboard instructors running private and group lessons for all ages, a huge 160 metre main slope, family snow fun with the Ringo slide and an alpine theme bar and restaurant. There is something for everyone. Visit thesnowcentre.com for more.
Yeah, fantastic facility there, Rob.
Yep.
Love that place. We're up there regularly. I'm very, very lucky for me that it is only about 20 minutes away. So really nice.
That's a great place. Really good. And always enjoy going there. Great people, good facility. And yeah, good to get on the snow.
So, Rob, you're out in the Alps in a beautiful chalet.
Oh, yeah, I really am in a very beautiful chalet. A brand new chalet, Chalet Hotel Blythe, right in the middle of Leger. I've stayed in a few chalets over my time. This one is, I'd say, easily the most impressive for lots of different reasons. But anyway.
Here is the snow report in association with Ski Weekends. The flexible ski holiday experts choose from 10 fantastic catered chalets and over 100 hotels in over 40 resorts. You can stay as long as you like with skiweekends.com.
Here in Leger, the French Port de Soleil ski area, I mean, I've been in Châtel this week as well. We did have some rain on Wednesday and today. Wednesday to high altitudes, but the snow line is coming down. It's turning to snow.
Good.
And there's been a lot of it over 1,400 meters as well.
Okay.
Actually, considerable amounts of snow. And actually, this morning, they've been controlling the snow for avalanches.
Okay.
It is getting colder,
Mm-hmm.
despite the rain. It's still raining at the moment in town, but the snow line is coming down and down. It's forecast to snow in Leger tonight for around 10 to 15 centimeters in the town. So that's the forecast.
I look forward to getting a little video clip from you, Rob, when it's snowing. I want to see snow. I don't want to hear about rain. I don't want to hear it.
No, I haven't done any video yet, but I'm waiting for tomorrow when the conditions are going to be absolutely brilliant. So that rain and snow has been seen across the French Alps. You know, anywhere above 1,400 meters, they're going to get a lot of snow. Below that, the piste have been holding up well. I mean, I skied all the way into Leger this afternoon.
Cool.
Villages and towns, you know, below that level have lost snow. So we'll see what happens in the next week or so, because it is getting colder. A mix of sun and snow is forecast for the coming week in the French Alps. It won't be particularly cold, but we won't see that kind of rain that we've seen here during the last week.
Okay, well, that's pretty good news. And I see I've been looking up over in Austria as well. It has remained colder there, and they've generally avoided that rain. Conditions in Kitzbuhel are currently some of the best in years. So we caught up with our friend Heath Judson there, a Brit that has been living there for over 20 years. And this is what he said.
I'm up at the top of the Hohe looking over towards Kitzbuhel, where all the preparations for the race are now ready. I turn around and look the other way. There's a whole load of cloud coming. We're going to have another couple of days of snow to top up these brilliant conditions we've got here at the moment. But don't worry, by the weekend it'll be lovely and sunny again.
Oh, that's great to hear. It's great to hear somebody with their ear to the ground, just like you, Rob, knowing what's going on. So
He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. And then we also had a look over in Switzerland as well, where the West has had quite a lot of snow above the 1,400 metre level. So that's nice. A little bit of rain down below, but whilst the East has stayed a little colder. So things are generally looking pretty good there as well.
Yeah, and I think generally a similar situation in Italy, where the West has had that more precipitation. It's a really complicated weather picture out there right now. And it's been a bit of a messy week in the Western Alps. Tough skiing conditions today, but that good news is that going forward, conditions are still good. You know, the snow base is good, especially above that 1,500 meter line. Yeah. So, despite a couple of days of tricky weather, I think positive going forward.
Yeah, absolutely. And Ben and Clow, who are out there on their 24 and 24 for In the Snow magazine at the moment, they've just left Salzy-Dou, where they had a great time skiing, and there was some fantastic pictures coming out of there. The place looked absolutely superb. Great ski conditions there. I think they did leave there with a little bit of rain down in town, but arrived in Serre Chevalier to more snow. They've lucked out. They've been skiing in snow all day, so conditions looking pretty good in Serre Chevalier. So that's really nice again to have people on the ground. And I've also seen some people out in Andorra with snow as well, which is good news. So yeah, I think in general the picture's pretty good. And what about over in US and Colorado? What have they got there?
Yeah, I think conditions are pretty good and fairly consistently cold temperatures now, and snow showers topping up the base sort of basically every day in Colorado. I don't think it's their most epic winter in a long time, but it's certainly good enough.
Very good.
It's decent conditions.
Well, it's a bit milder in the Californian resorts, but Lake Tahoe has had up to 70 centimeters forecast for the next week. So that'll be interesting to see if that hits. And business as usual over in Japan and Niseko, reporting powder snow and more to come. So pretty much every day seeing about 10 centimeters added to the base, which is quite nice. And a mixture of sunshine and snow showers over the next 2 weeks. So that sounds pretty good. Yeah. And I'm heading out to Revelstoke and Sun Peaks in a couple of weeks. I know they've got a very cold snap at the moment, hitting up to minus 32 degrees out there, Rob. Can you believe that? Yeah, they're having one of their little cold snaps. But I think they are getting regular updates of snow there as well. So I think pretty good conditions out there. So that should be good. So that's out in British Columbia. But let's hope it warms up a little bit from minus 32 by the time I get there. That's for sure.
I mean, it probably will. That sort of interior BC area tends not to get the ridiculously cold temperatures for very long.
Yeah.
That you can experience further east and further north in Canada. So
yeah,
the snow will be amazing.
Let's hope so. What about Norway?
Oh yeah, Norway. I mean, it's had a great season so far. And temperatures are mellowing out a bit as well. So again, not so cold going forward there. Maximums of -4 or 5. Right, the likes of Hafjell near Lillehammer. Snow is forecast too. They've had a bit of sun, but snow is forecast, and then a bit more sun again. So probably right now, Norway has the best conditions in Europe, really. If you look at all of the altitudes, from resort level to the top.
I'll be joining you in the Clusaz on Sunday, where we will be together for the ski test. So let's hope that the weather stays good for that time.
Absolutely, looking forward to that. Yeah. And the Balm area of the Clusaz, it's got a good altitude on it. It's got a great snow record. I think we're going to see some great conditions there, and certainly a lot more snow and base than we had at the same time last year.
Fantastic. Well, that's great news. That's our weather roundup this week in association with Ski Weekends. On to our favourite section, gear.
The light's gone. I'm going to change these lenses, people.
We love gear. We were at Slide OTS last week where we were getting our hands on all that spangly 24-25 winter gear and the summer gear, of course. What a great week.
Yeah, for sure. Great seeing all that shiny new gear. So what are we talking about this week, Dom?
Well, this week, Rob, we're going to focus on helmet, one of the most important bits of kit in the skiing and snowboarding toolbox when it comes to both comfort and safety, of course.
Yeah, agree, Dom. Not everyone likes to wear a helmet, I suppose, and I can sympathise with that. I do like to have a choice. I'm glad that I have it, but I see no reason why not to wear one, providing you don't think that you're suddenly invincible and you can travel at speeds that aren't within your limits of your ability level, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I just wouldn't go out without one now, to be honest. That's like a car seatbelt for me.
Yeah, absolutely. I generally, same for me. Plus, on cold days, they really keep your head snugly and warm.
Yeah.
So, yeah, let's take a look at some of the different things to consider when buying a helmet.
Yeah, so absolutely. So size is the first thing, absolutely key. Getting the right fit is super important, not just for comfort, but for safety too. If you're buying online, just make sure you measure your head. You can get instructions online of how to do that. And often each manufacturer gives you a set of directions on how to measure your head. If possible, it's better to go to a shop and make sure it's a specialist ski retailer, something like Snow and Rock or Ellis Brigham or one of the independents like Finch's or Ski Bartlett, Ski Exchange, somewhere like that.
Absolutely. Okay, so the next thing to consider is the type of helmet, and there's basically two main types with a third hybrid, like kind of combines the two. I mean, firstly, you've got a hard shell helmet, and secondly, an in-mold. Without going into the technical differences of these types, I mean, broadly speaking, the hard shells are lower cost and harder wearing, or hard wearing at least, whilst the in-mold types provide lighter but still strong protection and can handle better ventilation systems that are more active. In other words, you can control the ventilation. And then there's the hybrid helmets that kind of combine both the hard shell and the in-mold manufacturing techniques, which can provide both value and also functionality.
Nice. And then there's different styles of helmets, right?
Yeah, that's right. That's not purely fashion-based, but of course, part of it is about that as well.
Yeah, but generally speaking, the different styles, they all have a slightly different look too, including race with a full shell covering more of your face and sort of higher safety ratings, free ride helmets that mostly have those softer fabric over the ears, park helmets that generally have the peak at the front, and then normal recreational skier or snowboarders helmets There's also those sort of full face helmets that you've seen from the likes of the British brand Ruroc that make you look like a bit like a stormtrooper, if you like.
Yeah,
That
they're
sort of look.
crazy. They are crazy. Yeah.
Yeah.
In a
And
good
then
way.
you've got those visor helmets as well, that integrate a visor that can be pulled down like almost like a goggle across your eyes, even over your glasses.
Yeah, I'm right. There's a sort of evolution of that now with more of an actual goggle that's built into the helmet too.
Yeah, exactly that. But as well as the style, there's some other features to consider as well, isn't there?
Yeah, I mean, one of the main ones is MIPS, and MIPS. That stands for Multi-Directional Impact Protection System.
Oh, yeah, that's the sort of little round yellow badge, isn't it? You find on a chunk of helmets nowadays.
Yeah, that's absolutely. So MIPS is a very established brand, and now many helmet manufacturers use it to build into their helmets. The idea is it's been proven to be very effective. It mimics the movement of the brain inside the skull on any kind of impact. So one of the main risks with head injury is actually brain movement, not always skull fracture. I mean, see, that's quite bad. Yeah. But when the MIP system moves, it helps to slow down that movement inside the skull. Not by massive amounts, but it can be enough to make a real difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's something I would normally look out for on a helmet. It's also worth mentioning the adjustability of helmets and how that works.
Yeah, right.
So perhaps the most well-known brand for that adjustment is BOA. It's like a round dial at the back of the helmet that can be wound up or down to tighten or loosen the helmet by pulling the plastic eco-skeleton inside the helmet. So quite a nice fitment.
Yeah, crucial, obviously, to get that helmet feeling quite tight against the head without it being uncomfortable.
Yeah, they say that when you pull your helmet off, it should sort of pull your eyebrows up, but it shouldn't pull your head off.
Yeah, good info. I like that. So let's take a look at some of the different helmet options that you can buy right now.
So we'll start with Sweet Protection. They're a favourite of mine. I like the Sweet Protection Igniter. It's called the 2VI MIPS helmet that comes in at £219. It's a lightweight hard shell with a MIPS built in. It's great for free riders. I've just got hold of that helmet, and it's just one of those things that just feels like solid quality. It's not the plushest helmet in the world. It's just got that real feeling of quality. So check that out at sweetprotection.com.
Yeah, I would second that, Dom. Sweet Protection, very, very nice Norwegian brand. Another pretty high-end helmet is the Oakley Mod 5, I think, or MOD 5 MIPS, sort of packed full of tons of techie features. And again, it's got that MIPS built in. Very cool looking, as you'd expect from Oakley, right?
Yeah.
And it costs £221, and you can check that out at oakley.com.
Yeah. So that's a couple of expensive helmets there. But on the other end of the scale, you can go to the likes of Mountain Warehouse, where they've got a selection of helmets. I know that they've got Hard Nuts, a British brand, also currently at around £50. Perfectly decent helmet, obviously great value. You can head to mountainwarehouse.com, again, making sure you're getting the right fit. Obviously it doesn't offer the protection of something like MIPS, but it is still a great helmet and highly recommended.
I mean, it does the job, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, good advice there. And remember, spend as much as possible in your price range.
Yeah. And be 100% certain it fits. It's not just buy any old helmet and slap it on your head. It's not worth wearing if it's not going to fit properly.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. A well-fitting helmet that's cheaper, maybe, if you like, is better than an expensive helmet that doesn't fit.
100%.
Yeah, look out for the tech. If you can spend that extra money to get the MIPS version, it's definitely worth looking out for.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's our helmet roundup for this week. We're always reviewing lots of helmets online and on our YouTube channel In the Snow Mag. So plenty of helmets where you'll see Rob with helmets on and off his head, some that fit, some that don't. But you always look very cool in them, Rob, for sure.
That is a lot. No, I'm thanks, Dom, but I no. Anyway.
So what have we got in our resort spotlight this week, Rob?
Oh yeah, well, we are going to take a look at Kitzbuhel because we've got that big race weekend coming up, the famous Hahnenkamm, of course. We thought our resort spotlight this week should be Kitzbuhel. It's a classic Austrian ski resort. It hosts the toughest men's downhill race on the World Cup circuit.
Yeah, amazing place. I've been there many years ago. I'm sure you've been there, Rob.
Yeah, I've been there a few times over the years. I mean, I love the history there and the skiing culture. It's kind of totally embedded in the town and the people. The atmosphere in the town centre is great. There's lots of partying too, but it doesn't need to get too crazy. If you don't want it, you can avoid all of that. It has become pretty upmarket and there's some serious properties around.
Yeah.
But, there are alternative villages staying close by as well if the Kitzbuhel budget is a little bit too much. And I don't know if you've seen it, but there's a Netflix thriller, I think it was out last year, called Kitz. And you
Yes,
should check that out because it kind of.
I do remember that. I've not seen it, but I've seen that on Netflix. Now you come to mention it. So let's look at some of the facts then. We are looking at Kitzbuhel, 233 kilometers of skiing. They'll probably be on the wire telling us it's 237 or 239 or something, as resorts normally do. 181 of them being marked and groomed. The rest are left ungroomed and are marked as ski routes. There's 58 ski lifts, and it's one of the world's most modern lift systems. 60 mountain restaurants. 60 mountain restaurants! Oh my God! Across 3 separate mountain ranges. That's a lot of mountain hot restaurants, isn't it? Tell you what, we'd have to go there on a big food quest. Of course, this is all linked up to the ski vault, which means even more ski lifts. 82 in total, and marked trails in several resorts, including Brixen, Almal, Going. Is it Going?
I think so.
Or Going. Hopfgarten, Itter, Kelschau. Is it Kelschau? They're all going to be ringing me up. Schaffau, Sol, and Westendorf. Yeah. There you go, Rob. I managed to crack that.
Well done. I'm glad you had that bit to do. Yeah, incredible area. Actually, I learned ski in Westendorf. Back then, it was basically just a couple of chairlifts. And certainly not linked to anything else, but now it's bang in the middle of that, one of the world's largest skiing areas.
Yeah, Ski Vault is the longest ski circuit in the world. It's 88 kilometers long and takes in 14 villages. It's mega.
Yeah, a lot. So what about skiing in general, Dom, around Kitzbuhel itself?
Well, huge area, lots of nice intermediate cruisy red runs, and despite the famous Hahnenkamm race held on the strafe of slope, which is marked black and is very steep in places, most of the skiing is very accessible for good intermediate skiers and snowboarders. There's a good nursery slope in town with 3 lifts, and then several long blue runs from the Hahnenkamm and Kitzbühel Mountains, the latter with a family skiing area at the top. The area has really extensive stonemaking, and despite its relatively low altitude, the town is just below 800 meters, and the peaks are topping out at around 2,000 meters. But don't let that put you off, because these lower altitudes in Austria do get the snow, and it's further east than the French Alps or Switzerland, and that does make a difference. There's some good off-piste to be found following fresh snow too. The only thing is that by April, things are winding down a bit here on the skiing side. Spring does come a bit earlier than the higher resorts further west. So, Rob, what about the town itself? I have very fond memories of the town.
Yeah, lots of atmosphere. Very old town centre with traditional Austrian architecture, very upmarket shopping. Lots of wellness facilities. They're very into that there. Yeah. When it comes to eating and drinking, there's a really good mix of traditional Austrian and also international cuisine. You can get sushi and steak and pizza and all of that sort of stuff. Nightlife here is pretty full on as well, but perhaps the Londoner pub is the most famous bar in town, worth a mention. Yeah. Try to get in there over this weekend when the racing is on. It's definitely the place to go for a pint, and where the skiers go as well.
Oh,
what about getting there, Dom? You got any tips for that?
Yeah, all the big tour operators go there. So the likes of Chris and Ingham's, plus a number of travel agents such as Ski Solutions and Ski Line feature the resort. Quick search online finds packages at just under £1,000 a person for a half board in a 4-star hotel for a week, flights and airport transfers.
Okay, I mean, it's not the budget destination, is it? But standard of accommodation is very high there.
Yeah.
And actually, one of my bucket list goals is to be at the Hahnenkamm races one year. Not an easy one. It's so busy over this weekend. As I'm going to be in St. Gervais this weekend, it's a tricky one. But maybe next year, Dom.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. It's definitely one for my bucket list. I see those races and I just think the excitement and the atmosphere is just incredible. There's no two ways about it. So I would love to be at that for sure. But I know it's pretty tough to get to that Hahnenkamm race.
Yeah. It's a busy. You just see the resort on TV, don't you? And how many people are there? It's incredible.
Oh yeah,
but like you said, that's why it has such a great atmosphere. So.
Yeah, absolutely. And the weather's looking a bit tricky for this weekend. So imagine going to all that effort and getting out there and the race not happening. Hopefully not.
Okay, on to our actual featured bucket list trip for this week. Then, what have we got in store, Dom?
Bucket list trip for this week, Rob. We are talking cat skiing. So this week we're going to have a look at cat skiing, what it actually is, the best bits and maybe the challenges, and then also a few spots where you can actually do it, Rob.
Yeah, I mean, often cat skiing is called the poor person's heli skiing, right? But I think there's more to it than that. Well, there is. I mean, it's more eco-friendly.
Yeah,
Although perhaps converting machines to electric would massively improve that as well.
for sure.
It's safer. I mean, generally, not saying heli skiing is hugely dangerous, but obviously it has some danger to it. So it is safer, and it's significantly cheaper than getting into a helicopter.
Yeah,
as well.
for sure. Absolutely. So let's start by explaining how it works. Those machines we all see grooming the slopes at night and ski resorts get converted with a cabin in the back, typically takes sort of 8, 10, 12 people. It's more popular in destinations that have large areas of backcountry terrain and lack ski lift access. You don't see much of it in the Alps because there's so much lift infrastructure there anyway, but I think Canada, America, Japan, those sort of places, and some of those lesser known skiing areas like in Southern Europe and in Central Asia.
Yeah, exactly. And then the idea, pretty obviously, really, is to jump in and get driven up the mountain into backcountry terrain. And often the cat tracks, they're already there. They're sort of made by previous forays, I suppose, into the territory that's normally very well known to the operators. And of course, when it snows, they need to cut through all of that. But being snowplows by trade, that is not an issue.
Yeah, and then when you get to the top, grab your skis and off you go. Normally, cat skiing operators have their own guys too. Immediately following the drop-off, cat turns around, heads back down. You think it was pretty slow, but more often than not, by the time you get down in your skis, the cat's there, or at least it's pretty close behind you.
Yeah, it's great. And of course, getting back into the cat means a rest and also a chance to have a snack and a drink too. It's pretty chilled, although it can be a bit noisy in those machines, sometimes a bit cramped, and that's where I guess with a helicopter you'd spend less time in it than a cat, but again the cost is just a different league.
Yeah, absolutely. So let's take a look at a few places where you can cat ski, starting with British Columbia. Vast amounts of terrain in BC, but an area known as the Powder Highway that stretches from Kicking Horse in the north to Whitewater and Fernie in the south, and includes the likes of Revelstoke and Panorama, likely has the highest concentration of cat skiing operations in the country. There's 14 operators listed on the Powder Highway website, but Baldface Valhalla out of Nelson is a pretty interesting one. Have you know that one, Rob?
Yeah, I've experienced that one myself. It's quite full on terrain, but sort of that typical BC open gladed stuff, fairly steep and relatively short runs, but it means a lot of quick turnarounds. It's a very slick operation. So yeah, check that out at baldface.com.
Nice. What else have you got? Other ideas?
Well, yeah, another really cool spot actually is North Macedonia in the Shar Mountains.
Okay.
Borders Albania and Kosovo. Really good value, easy to get to, and Shar Outdoors run a 4-star hotel there with 4 cat machines. Yeah, cat skiing is pretty popular here, and there's also operations in Kosovo and Albania. But I have tried Shar Outdoors, and they're a fantastic setup. You can check them out at sharoutdoors.com. I think they do a 5-night, 5-day cat skiing adventure, all inclusive, full board, drinks, everything, all in for about just over £1,000, £1,200, maybe something like that. So yeah, a lot of skiing, a lot of cat time, a lot of ski time, 4-star hotel. It's a decent hotel. It's food is good, guiding's great, really, really nice people. So that's a cool thing to do.
Cool, like that. And another one to look for is in Japan. I mean, so much powder, so much terrain. Japan does seem like the ideal place for cat skiing, to have access to deep snow and relatively small verticals in terrain that doesn't have ski lifts. So Niseko area is pretty popular. Several operations, including Shimamaki, operated by the Hokkaido Backcountry Club, Iwania cat skiing, and Vice cat skiing. But there's loads of others around the country, including in the Nagano region on Honshu Island. You can check out mintours.com, which I'll put in the notes for the Nagano side, and Hokkaido Backcountry Club for Niseko.
Yeah, nice. That is definitely on my bucket list, Dom.
Yeah.
I think it's worth noting that countries such as Turkey, Georgia, Kazakhstan, there's a super cool looking area in the Altai mountain range close to the Mongolian border.
Oh.
It looks stunning. I mean, it's just when I was sort of doing some research and I found this place, and the pictures, you don't even know it's there. And this place is it's like British Columbia, but it's in Kazakhstan, close to the Mongolian border. Absolutely amazing.
Wow.
Yeah, check that out at heliski.kz. A few years ago, I was actually invited to Russian Siberia, and I that looked interesting. I never went there. Right now, it's a No, it's impossible, really. But that looks it looks super interesting as well.
Yeah, fantastic. Very good stuff. I mean, obviously, Catskiing is suited to skiers and snowboarders that want to access the backcountry terrain. So that's to be taken into consideration. But if you want an adventure and don't have the deep pockets required for heliskiing, this is a really good option. So there you go, Rob. That's it for another week. Catskiing, an awesome snow roundup of where's best to ski right now, which you can also find on inthesnow.com, regularly updated, and a spotlight on Kitzbuhel, the best ski helmets. What more can anyone ask for in a podcast?
Yeah, you're right here, Dom. And listeners, don't forget to subscribe so you can get pinged when the next episode comes out. And do us a favor, leave a review. It keeps us bringing you the best ski podcast in the world.
Oh, big words, Rob. So very good. Good to catch up, Rob. Looking forward to talking next week when we'll have had lots of adventures under our belt. We'll have tested hundreds of pairs of skis and lots more info for our listeners. Yep, don't forget to subscribe. And we look forward to talking next week. Rob, have a good, safe ski.
You too, Dom. I'll see you on Sunday.
Have a good one.
Mais non, talkie-walkie.
Pretty sure it's called a walkie-talkie, mate.